Hi, I'm Sumaya. I am the course lead for the chiropractic program. So we've started by recording our first episode, or we will be recording our first episode today for our podcast. So we're looking at teaching and learning, we're looking at chiropractic and healthcare, and also student experience at London South Bank University. So you can access the podcast on YouTube, on TikTok and Instagram as well. So I'm just going to introduce Daniel. He's a year 2 chiropractic student. He actually studied the foundation year, so a good person to start with when it comes to admissions and finding out about university life. Hi Daniel, nice to have you here.
Hi Sumaya, it's pretty nice to be here, to be honest.
So can you just introduce yourself, a bit about your background and what you're studying?
Yep, so obviously my name is Daniel. I'm a second year chiropractic student and I'm originally from South Acton, then I moved to a place called Hanwell. But now I live in the University Halls of Accommodation in Elephant and Castle.
Okay. And where did you grow up? Where are your family originally from?
My parents, they moved here from Nigeria. My dad moved here a lot earlier than my mum, but then obviously my mum came down here and then they moved to West London where we grew up. And then they met in the church, in it's in New Kent Road, so we actually still go to it now actually. So yeah, that's where we're originally from.
Okay. And what is it that you're studying?
Chiropractic.
Okay. And so you did a foundation year before your main degree. How did you find that? Why did you choose to do it?
So my A-levels were heavily disrupted by COVID.
Okay.
And I would say I didn't achieve the grades that I could have done if I was maybe a bit more focused and there was less disruption. So choosing the foundation year kind of allowed me to get to the course I wanted to do, but just kind of maybe bridge maybe some gaps in knowledge that maybe I needed. So the foundation year was on the Southwark campus, and honestly, it was actually really good because we learned how to kind of broach, maybe how to attack courseworks, that sort of thing. I just kind of got a little bit of insight into how university works, even like talking to lecturers. And the good thing about it was that I didn't actually have to stay with chiropractic. I could have chosen to do any of the kind of health professions. I could have chosen to do physiotherapy, midwifery, those sort of things. And also helped because I was able to get some chiropractic treatment on that as well to kind of see a bit more insight, see, okay, yeah, I want to see if I can do chiropractic or not.
So it made you more sort of comfortable with the path that you're choosing. And that's interesting. So you actually studied with the other allied health professional groups and obviously you said the nurses as well. 5 years is a long time. What has motivated you to obviously choose this path, but what motivates you day to day as well?
So to actually commit to the 5 years, a lot of it was kind of for my parents and myself and my brother and sisters all just saying like, the end goal that I want to get to. So the 5 years, a lot of my friends even say it to me as well. I say it's not that much because I've been enjoying it a lot so far. So I've been here technically for 3 years and does not feel like that at all because really enjoying the course and just kind of the people in the environment. But then day to day, I'd say what keeps me going is like my faith a lot as well because like I'm a practicing Christian. If I'm ever struggling, whatnot, just like speak to God, helps me, gives me a bit more energy whenever I need it to stay focused and stay locked in. Because obviously, I've done 5 years. I'm not trying to do anything more than that. So
yeah, no, absolutely. And obviously, you're going to be leaving with a master's at the end of it. Yeah. So, like most undergraduate degrees, we know that the friends that you might have started with, they're doing a 3-year sort of undergraduate program with the 1 year, but yours is obviously 5 years for that reason. So did that make you ever doubt if you wanted to go to uni or not, if it was right for you?
No, because I'm quite headstrong and confident when I make decisions. So as soon as before I even like had seen chiropractic properly, like when I'd come to uni, I already said like, no, that's what I want to do. Like I'm extremely interested in that. And I don't think anything was ever gonna deter me or stop me from trying to achieve that goal really. So nothing.
What made you choose chiropractic?
Okay, so like between like age, I played football for a very long time. Obviously, I've had like
the football captain. Just to make sure that we've got that record. Yeah,
first team football captain. Just had to mention it somehow. I've played football for a very long time since I was 3 years old. Inspired by my brother because he played football as well, and I've always obviously been open to physio treatment or even like sports rehab. But then Cairo, maybe I was between the age of 16 to 18, I was seeing more videos on like TikTok and that sort of thing. I was quite intrigued by it, and I was like, there's something that I would kind of maybe want to go in. I looked at the prices of it and I was like, wow, like someone from my background, that sort of thing, they probably wouldn't really have access to that sort of thing. So it kind of got me thinking like, that's something I really want to do, because it kind of just kind of be like an inspiration as well to people that I know and people who've grown up in my area, even like my ethnicity as well, because it is quite it's a profession that is a bit dominated in certain aspects. We have to be honest, it's dominated by like white people in a sense as well.
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to show that, no, like people of all different backgrounds can do it. So yeah, that was definitely a big motivation.
Absolutely. So we know that the profession, there's sort of just below 10% of chiropractors in the UK identify from Black, Asian, minority ethnic backgrounds. So we know that we are underrepresented in the profession. So you mentioned studying in Southwark first, because obviously you did your foundation year first. What was that like studying in Southwark, and then obviously now we've moved to the Croydon area?
To be honest, I would say it was easier because the halls of residence that we live in is like a lot close to the Southwark campus. And I would say it was quite different to the Croydon one in good ways and bad ways, because it's a quite busy campus. You know, there's loads and loads of different people there that you're interacting with. And even like maybe some of the lecturers, they're slightly different. So I did kind of enjoy it there. But then I'll say coming to Croydon, again, positive and negative on both sides, because the Southwark campus, where it's quite busy, you want to use the library sometimes, it's too loud, it's too rowdy, there's not even the empty rooms that you can use, you can't really use them. But then with the Croydon campus, I'll call it more sophisticated, where there's more areas that I found to study in. The library is a lot quieter. You're able to kind of focus on what you want to do. And also because the Croydon campus, like for chiropractic ourselves, like we actually have our own specific areas for it. So I'll say that was the thing I was really happy about. So yeah.
So you've kind of got the best of both worlds, because you mentioned that you're obviously living from halls in Southwark or at the Elephant and Castle campus, but then you also have the opportunity to come down, like all students can do, obviously come down and use the facilities here at the library, because it is obviously quieter, right? So you've obviously moved, so interestingly, you're from London, but you've moved into halls. But so coming from West London and obviously then going to Southwark and now moving to Croydon, how have you adjusted to the change of like moving between the different areas?
To be honest, for myself, I haven't really felt as much of a change. I would say because I feel like in London, a lot of the boroughs are quite similar. You know, the people that you see there, it's always going to be quite diverse. So for me, I didn't really feel much of a change. But obviously, I know people always ask me why I moved to accommodations, because I feel like I needed to develop my own independence and find myself properly. So obviously, like at my accommodation, I'm allowed to kind of have the freedom to do things I want. Like I enjoy cooking quite a lot. So able to do that whenever I want to. I don't have to think about mum's asking, why are you cooking at this? So,
but I'm sure you go home and probably take containers of food back with you
I
to
knew my
halls.
mum's food. So
Yeah, of course.
I go home, I raid the fridge, and then I'll call my mum and say, there's food gone. Sorry.
So what's the best thing you can cook? Seeing as you've practiced now, we've had a few years to practice.
You know what? I'll say jollof rice, I'm not gonna lie. Because
that's a very big statement.
Should I tell you what it is, yeah? It's not easy to cook jollof rice, and everyone who cooks it knows this. There's loads of people who can cook it well, loads who can't cook it that well. So I pride myself on actually being able to cook it to a very high standard.
What's better, Nigerian or Ghanaian jollof? You knew that was coming. So
I'm Nigerian. I'm gonna look at the camera as well. I'm sorry. It's Nigerian. There's only one way.
There's only one way to make it. All right. We don't want to start World War III, but that's fine. Okay. So any tips or advice you can obviously give people? So, you know, we're gonna highlight safety, right? So being in London, we know that there's always questions around safety, especially for people who are from outside London, who then move to London, especially to, you know, live in halls and for uni. What's your personal experience of safety been like? And what are some tips that you could give people who are coming from outside?
To be honest, my personal experience of safety has been, I'll say, quite good. Like I've not really found myself in situations where I felt uncomfortable or unsafe. But in terms of tips, I would say there's always safety in numbers. And also, like, London isn't as bad as what people make it out to seem. Like it's actually a really nice city. People are genuinely quite polite to you. Especially even I go in the train in rush hour. Yeah, it can get a bit rowdy and a bit busy, but you'll genuinely feel quite safe. So I would just say, like, for example, for myself, I meet some of my friends at the East Croydon station because I understand, like, if they're not from an environment of living in London, it could be quite daunting or different and like, an adjustment. So, like, for myself, I'm happy to meet them at East Croydon sometimes and just kind of walk in with them because that allows them to feel more comfortable and it's something that I don't mind. I'll say use safety in numbers and also just, you don't have to avoid certain areas, but just be smart about what you do. Like, obviously, you're not going to go walk down a dark alleyway late at night. You know what I mean? You're not going to choose to do that. So just walk on the main roads because the main thing in London is that the city generally does not sleep.
Yeah.
People are out all the time, early morning, early morning, late at night. People are always going to be around. So you're walking on the main road, generally there'll be quite a lot of people around, a lot of cars driving. So for me, at least, that's felt like quite a big comfort.
So safety in numbers, I think, is the main thing. And obviously things like not walking around with your phone all the way out here, because we know that.
Don't walk around with your phone out like that, because especially, we're not really here to be honest, but actually like central London, people on mopeds trying to phone snatch, that sort of thing.
Yeah. So. Okay, family support and motivation. So you've obviously moved from your parents' home into halls. And I know that you're very close to your family as well. I know that you go and get your hair done often by your sister. So how has your family supported you through your foundation year and beyond?
Well, so I'll say like my brother and my sister, especially, they are very, very big supports for me because my sister, she's at UCL, but she lives there as well she's doing medicine. So obviously with that, she's giving me tips on how to like live in accommodation, that sort of thing, like clean up after yourself, the simple things, the basics. And obviously my brother, he moved out to Brighton for university as well.
Okay.
So they just both gave me a lot of tips in terms of revising, staying organized. And just even when maybe things aren't going so well, just always telling me like, nah, Daniel, like, you know, you can do it. Like you're smart enough, you're strong enough, you're intelligent enough to do these sort of things. So that's been really helpful. And my parents as well, very big help because I do see them quite often as well, like every Sunday at church. So they're always checking up on me. They actually call me like once a week regardless, and just make sure that I'm happy, eating, and yeah.
Your mum's making sure you're fed.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Always.
Okay. So yeah, sounds like you're obviously really well supported there with your family. It's interesting that you mentioned that your sister's obviously studying medicine. What did you say your brother?
He did aeronautical engineering.
Aeronautical. So some really high achievers there. Okay. The big question that everyone's dying to know: what's it like being a football captain? For the first team at university. I know you get stopped in the street and...
See, okay, being captain of... So before I became captain, I tried to avoid it because I didn't really want the responsibility and I kind of just wanted to be there, but then one way or another, the responsibility found me and I was quite happy to take it on, to be honest, because it's not as easy as I'll say I make out, other people make out, because I had a match last week, I wasn't able to play in it. The guy who I made captain, my vice captain, he was like, never do that again, please. Because it's quite stressful being on the pitch, but then behind the scenes, because I have to organize the team. If people don't have membership, I've got to make sure they have memberships. I have to even be in the like Southwark campus, like promoting the football. So especially at the start of the year, I was on stools, like I think twice a week for the first like 2-3 weeks, just promoting sports in general and football. And then even we've got varsity coming up on the 26th of March against Greenwich. So next week, I've got 2 days that I've got to be in the Southwark campus in like the foyer bit in the front from 10 a.m. till 2, just promoting that sort of thing. So there is a lot of commitment that comes with it, but I would say it's definitely quite rewarding. So I'm happy I've done it.
I didn't realise it was such like demanding sort of role to be in. How has football helped you build like your friendships and sense of community? And just to highlight that, I know that it's not just through football that you've obviously made friends, because I see you in class, I see you speaking to everyone. But how has football highlighted that in particular?
Well, football, a good proportion of my friends are from football, and that's how we stay connected. I say it's just a way to de-stress, connect, and especially a lot of people that I play with have a passion for football. So when it's like a lot of people together just enjoying the same thing, honestly, I can't actually describe it. Like I don't know where I would be without football. Like it's something that I need. Like, I couldn't ever quit football, even if I wasn't playing for a team outside as well. I'd have to be doing like 5-a-sides with my friends, that sort of thing, and it just helps you to stay connected. You know, seeing people, being social, because otherwise you can just end up being maybe stuck alone, not doing as much. So I say that's the main thing that's like helped me a lot, even just at uni as well, because it can be hard to make friends at uni, but joining a sports team, but with football especially, you'll make a lot of friends.
Do you think the foundation year sort of helped ease you into the uni life and then helped you sort of make friends? Because I know that even before I met you, maybe even on the first day, you came in with this confidence. Do you think that really helped you as well?
Definitely helped, because it's just, again, university can be quite a daunting experience for obviously anyone going. So being on that foundation year, it just allowed me to kind of slowly integrate myself in, see where I fit in, see how I could use the university to benefit myself as well. So definitely helped a lot.
Okay. And just looking back, so how do you feel about your journey? So through chiropractic, from foundation year to now, obviously you're in second year, on the verge of going into third year. How do you feel about your journey, and what would you say to someone who's considering foundation year and isn't sure if they want to do it or not?
I would say, if you're unsure about, like, let's say if you want to come do chiropractic, but you're not sure about it, do the foundation year, because it allows you to get a taste of all the different professions, and then you can then choose for yourself and say, okay, I've chosen to do chiropractic. Especially because if you do that foundation year, you're committing to 5 years. So
it's a long time.
It's a long time. Yeah. So after you do that, then you can actually be sure, yes, I'm doing that. And then in terms of my journey, I'll say I'm quite proud of myself, because before, again, my A-levels, I didn't do great. I know my mum, she was worried. So I say that I know she's definitely proud of me as well, that I've actually got here, went through first year, and then I'm in second year and I'm doing decently. So I'll say I'm quite proud of myself.
Sounds like we had similar experiences, because I did the foundation year as well. Yeah. So I'm always a big promoter for it. I think if there's people not sure or people that haven't come in with a science background, it helps, like you said, sort of getting everyone up to scratch, filling any gaps that you might have. Any last words of encouragement for students who are starting university, maybe from underrepresented backgrounds as well, moving to campus, balancing sports and studies?
I would say the main thing is just know you can do it. I think that's something, like, in society you hear about it a lot, where in terms of people trying to gain confidence, have confidence, that sort of thing. But just know that your lecturers genuinely believe in you, especially if you're going to do chiropractic. I say that's a really big thing, that all of us have a good relationship with our lecturers. That also helps us a lot. Like, honestly, you feel like you guys are friends, but then you're teaching us, and it's just a joyful experience. And because it's going to be a smaller cohort, most likely, compared to other professions or other courses that you're going to be doing. So you then end up having a more intimate relationship with your your colleagues, essentially. So I'll say that's a big thing with it. And just know that even if things aren't going your way, there's so many resources to help you, that this uni offers you, like mental health support. They help you. I've become a sports ambassador, which has allowed me to earn more money as well. So that's money's a big thing at university, in terms of like, being able to pay your rent, having money to buy food. So that's a big thing. So just when you get here, use your resources to the best you can. Like, I get massages every Friday from the sports.
You really use the free.
I get chiropractic treatment. So use
for free.
And this is for free as well. So
as a chiro student.
As a chiro student, sorry, I have to point out, as a chiro student. So there's many benefits to it. So I say, go for it. Believe in yourself.
Your favorite module? Studying chiropractic. Easily, we have to obviously talk about it.
Easily chiro too.
I wonder why that
is.
Why is that, Daniel?
Cool. Yeah, Sumaya teaches chiro too, but it's because it's the most hands-on module. It's the most hands-on module, and for me, I'm a quite practical person, and it's just, I say it's the module you really feel like a chiropractor, especially like in year 2, where from the first lecture you go in, you're learning how to adjust. Like, I think we started off with the wrist, or was it we started with one of the extremities, wrist. I think it was the wrist. And immediately from when you're learning how to do these sorts of things, I got a big grin on my face. I was so happy. I went off telling all my friends, like, Yeah, I did a wrist adjustment, you know.
I know what's funny. We start off with extremities, right, and they're such small adjustments, and then you start doing the thoracic spine, the lower back, and we see the confidence and stuff in you guys grow, but everyone gets very gassed as well.
Yeah, that's definitely easily clarity.
Yeah.
Definitely.
And then lastly, so where can your listeners or our listeners follow your journey or get involved in university football?
So the LSBU men's football Instagram is managed by me and my other captain Philip, and you can contact us on there. We try to post a lot, but we're gonna be getting better with that, and also we're gonna start up a TikTok for it as well soon, where just you can kind of see where we're going, especially for varsity coming up. So
thank you for sharing your experience. Any final shout outs?
Final shout outs. Nah. Actually, yeah. I'll shout out my parents, my vice captain Esau, also on the chiropractic profession.
Issa's on the football team.
Yes,
I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
He's my vice captain, helps me out a lot. Give a shout out to him. Give a shout out to Amal, actually. He's the head of GAC, Gaming Anime Community. So I'll shout out to him as well. Other than that, no one else.
I've got to say, there's a lot of Cairo students who have really taken to the societies. We've obviously got you in football. We've got some of the, I believe, year 3 Muslim students who are actually heading up ISOC, and it's the male and female side, so the brothers and sisters side. And so finding out Issa's vice captain, that makes me really proud, actually, as your course leader. So anyone thinking about a foundation year or making the most of student life at LSBU, obviously we would direct them to the Instagram page.
Yes.
For football?
For football, yeah. LSBU men's football.
At LSBU men's football.
Yeah, LSBU men's football.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Thanks.